Story 1. Hey everyone, it's Emily Carter here, coming to you from rainy Seattle, Washington. You know, besides making these videos, one of my favorite things to do is just hang out with friends, grab coffee downtown, or maybe hit up a local bookstore. I love soaking in the vibe of the city, even when it's drizzling. And lately, I've been getting so many compliments on how I smell. Like, from friends, coworkers, even strangers at the coffee shop. It's kind of wild how a good scent can make you feel so confident, right? I'm not gonna lie, I haven't nailed down my absolute favorite fragrance yet, but thanks to Scentbird, I'm getting super close. If you haven't heard of Scentbird, let me put you on. It's this amazing monthly subscription service for cologne and perfume that I've been obsessed with. For just $17 a month, they send you a new fragrance right to your door. And each one comes in this sleek little bottle that's designed to last you 30 days. I mean, it's perfect for someone like me who loves switching things up and trying new scents without committing to a huge bottle. This month, I got some really cool ones, like Cross River Gorilla by Sanctuary, Flame by Versace, and Black Edition by Bentley. Each bottle comes with a little card that breaks down what the scent is all about. For example, Cross River Gorilla has this mix of cardamom, green apple, violet leaf, and smoked leather. Sounds fancy, I know, but it's got this refined, casual vibe that's perfect for fall. People who've tried it say it's great for just chilling with friends or a cozy night out. I wore it to a bonfire last weekend, and my friend Sarah was like, "Okay, Emily, what is that? You smell amazing." It's moments like that that make me love experimenting with fragrances. What's cool about Scentbird is how they carry all the top brands. So you're not just getting random scents, you're getting the good stuff. And if you're not sure where to start, their website has this quick quiz that takes literally less than a minute. You answer a few questions about your lifestyle, like, do you prefer something fresh, woody, or maybe floral? And it gives you personalized recommendations. I took it when I first signed up, and it totally nailed the kind of scents I'm into. It's like having a fragrance expert in your pocket. I know trying new perfumes can feel overwhelming, especially with so many options out there, but Scentbird makes it so easy and fun. Plus, the bottles are super cute and travel friendly, so I just toss one in my bag when I'm heading out. There's something about wearing a scent that makes you feel put together, you know? Like, even on days when I'm just running errands in my hoodie, a spritz of something nice makes me feel like I've got it all figured out. I've been having such a blast trying these out, and I'm honestly kind of hooked on the whole experience. It's not just about smelling good. It's about that little boost of confidence you get when someone leans in and says, "Wow, you smell so good." Stick around, because I'm going to tell you how to get a sweet deal on your first month with Scentbird. But first, let me share a story that's been on my mind lately. It's got that creepy, isolated vibe that makes you feel like someone's watching you, and trust me, it's a wild ride. Alright guys, it's Emily Carter again, still here in Seattle, where the coffee's strong and the vibes are cozy. I've been raving about Scentbird because honestly, it's been such a game changer for me. That feeling when you walk into a room and someone notices your scent, it's like a little moment of magic, you know? And I want you all to experience that too. So, let's talk about how you can jump into this fragrance adventure with Scentbird and make it your own. If you're curious about trying it out, here's the deal. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. It'll take you straight to their website, where you can sign up and use my code NIGHTMARE55 to get a whopping 55% off your first month. That's a steal for a full 30-day supply of a high-end fragrance. I mean, for less than the price of a fancy coffee, you're getting a scent that makes you feel like $1,000,000. And trust me, it's not just about smelling good. It's about that quiet confidence you carry when you know you're rocking something special. Scentbird's so easy to use too. Once you sign up, you can pick your fragrance each month, or let their quiz do the work for you. I love that quiz because it feels like chatting with a friend who just gets you. It asks about your vibe. Like, are you into something bold for nights out, or maybe something fresh for every day? Then it spits out suggestions that feel so spot on, it's almost spooky. I remember picking Black Edition by Bentley after my quiz, and when it showed up at my door, I was like, okay, this is me in a bottle. It's that kind of personal touch that makes Scentbird stand out. Plus, the bottles are so sleek and portable, I just pop one in my purse when I'm heading to a cafe or a late night hangout. And here's a little story to tie this all together. Last week, I was walking home from a friend's place in Capitol Hill. It was late, the streets were quiet, and I got that weird feeling, like someone was watching me. You know that prickly sensation on the back of your neck? I kept glancing over my shoulder, but no one was there. It was just me, the streetlights, and this eerie sense of being followed. I wasn't scared exactly, but I felt so small in that moment, like the city was swallowing me up. And weirdly, catching a hint of my Flame by Versace scent grounded me. It was like a reminder that I was still me, still in control, even in that unsettling quiet. That's the kind of power a good fragrance can have. It's not just a smell. It's a piece of you that stays with you, even when the world feels a little too big or a little too dark. So, I'm begging you, give Scentbird a try. Scan that QR code, use Nightmare 55, and let me know what scents you pick. Drop a comment below or hit me up on socials. I'm dying to hear about your favorites. And stick around, because I've got another story coming up that'll give you that same chilling, isolated vibe. It's about a moment when you realize you're not as alone as you thought, and let me tell you, it's gonna stick with you. Story 2. Hey guys, it's Ethan Brooks, back with another story that's been stuck in my head. This one takes place in Asheville, North Carolina, where my family has this cozy vacation cabin tucked away in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Growing up, my siblings and I spent every summer there, running through the woods, splashing in creeks, just being kids. It's this peaceful spot surrounded by towering pines and rolling hills. And in October, the leaves turn into this insane explosion of red and gold. It's like stepping into a painting. Now that I'm older, I don't get to go as much. Work, life, you know how it goes. But a couple of years ago, when I was 27, I started dating this girl, Sophia. We'd only been on a few dates, but things were clicking. On our 5th date, I mentioned the cabin, kinda half joking about how cool it'd be to spend a weekend there. Her eyes lit up, and she was like, "Let's do it." I was stoked, but also a little nervous. Taking someone new to a place that means so much to you feels like a big step. 2 days later, we were packing up my old Jeep for the 5-hour drive from Charlotte. Sophia was all in, tossing her backpack in the back, already making a playlist for the road. The drive was honestly one of the best parts. We talked about everything, our favorite shows, embarrassing childhood stories, even what we wanted out of life. When we got tired of talking, we'd listen to some stand-up comedy or a true crime podcast, laughing and gasping at all the twists. By the time we rolled into Asheville, the sun was dipping low, casting this golden glow over the mountains. I took us through the downtown area first because I wanted Sophia to see the quirky shops and street musicians. She loved it, snapping pics of the colorful murals. About 10 minutes later, we pulled up to the cabin. It's got this little wooden fence at the driveway. Nothing fancy, just something we close to keep random cars out. I hopped out to swing it open, and we drove onto the property. My dad hires landscapers to keep the place tidy through fall, so the lawn was pristine, and the air smelled like pine and crisp leaves. Sophia was impressed, saying it looked like something out of a magazine. We got there just in time for lunch, so we unloaded our stuff, and I gave her the grand tour. Living room with a stone fireplace, creaky wooden stairs, the whole rustic vibe. I flipped on the hot tub out back so it'd be ready for later. Then we headed into town to grab food at this little diner I've loved since I was a kid. After lunch, we did some sightseeing, wandering through the Biltmore Village and poking around a small history museum. It was one of those perfect days, you know? The kind where everything feels easy and right. As the sky started to darken, we drove back to the cabin, ready to chill. I was excited to show Sophia the hot tub under the stars, but there was this tiny, nagging feeling in the back of my mind, like we weren't as alone as we thought. It was probably just the quiet of the woods, but it felt like something was watching us, waiting. So, there we were, Sophia and I, chilling in the hot tub on the back deck of my family's cabin in Asheville. The stars were out, the air was crisp, and the warm water felt amazing after a long day. But then, out of nowhere, we heard this crunching sound, like footsteps on dry leaves. My heart skipped a beat. I figured it was just a deer, or maybe a raccoon. Woods are full of critters, right? But Sophia grabbed my arm, her eyes wide, and whispered, "Ethan, that's not an animal." The sound got closer, circling the deck, and I got this sinking feeling, like we were being watched. We scrambled out of the hot tub, dripping wet, and bolted inside, locking the door behind us. I flicked off all the lights, thinking maybe the glow was attracting something or someone. Peeking through the blinds, I expected to see a bear or something, but instead, I caught the outline of a person moving along the side of the house. My stomach dropped. I rushed to the back door, double-checking the lock, and told Sophia to stay quiet. The footsteps kept going, slow and deliberate, until they stopped right at the front door. Then, a loud knock. A voice called out, "It's the police, open up." I froze. Police? Out here? The nearest neighbor's half a mile away. I yelled through the door, "Is there a problem?" The guy said, "We got a break and report, just need to talk." But something felt off. His voice was too calm, too rehearsed. I crept to the front window and peeked out. It was dusk, still light enough to see the driveway, and there was no cop car, no flashing lights. Nothing. I whispered to Sophia, "This isn't right." She was shaking, clutching her phone. The guy knocked again, harder, saying, "Open the door, sir." I shouted back, "I don't see a police car. I'm not opening anything." Silence. I thought maybe he'd left, but then I heard those footsteps again, circling back around. My mind was racing. We were alone, miles from town, with no one to call for help. I remembered my dad's old shotgun in the closet, grabbed it, and checked it was loaded. I wasn't planning to use it, but just holding it made me feel less helpless. Sophia was freaking out, saying, "What if he's still out there?" I didn't know what to do, so I stepped outside, heart pounding, and fired a shot into the air, yelling, "Get off my property!" The echo rang through the trees, and then nothing. No footsteps, no voice, just silence. We stayed inside all night, jumping at every creak. I kept the shotgun close, and we watched movies to calm down, but I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was still out there, watching from the woods. The next morning, we packed up and drove straight to the Asheville police station to file a report. The officer said they hadn't sent anyone to our address, which confirmed my worst fear. That guy wasn't a cop. We've been back to the cabin since, and nothing weird has happened. But that night left a mark. It wasn't about blood or monsters. It was the dread of being so isolated, knowing someone was out there, toying with us, and we couldn't do anything but wait. That feeling of being watched, it sticks with you, like a shadow you can't shake. Story 3. Hey everyone, it's Liam Harper here, and I've got a story that still gives me chills when I think about it. This happened a couple of years ago when I was 31, driving through the middle of nowhere on Route 89 in Utah. It was around 1 a.m., and I was on a solo road trip just trying to get to a friend's place in Arizona. The desert was pitch black, no streetlights, no houses, just the hum of my old pickup and the endless stretch of road. I'd been driving for hours, and my eyes were getting heavy, so I pulled into a tiny gas station to refuel and grab a snack, some beef jerky and a soda to keep me awake. The place was dead quiet, just me and the clerk, who barely looked up from his phone. I got back on the road, feeling a little refreshed, but still hyper-aware of how alone I was out there. Route 89 is one of those winding, desolate roads where you can go miles without seeing another car, especially at that hour. I was sticking to the speed limit, maybe 55, because I'm a careful driver and you never know when a cop might be hiding behind a cactus or something. Everything was fine until I noticed these flashing lights in my rearview mirror. Red and white, no blue. My stomach did a little flip. I glanced at my speedometer, .57, barely over the limit. I wasn't swerving, my taillights were fine, so why was I getting pulled over? I eased onto the shoulder, heart picking up speed, and this car pulled up behind me. I sat there, hands on the wheel, trying to stay calm. I'd never been pulled over before, and the whole situation felt weird, like the desert itself was holding its breath. This guy steps out and walks up to my window. I roll it down, and he's got this tactical vest on, but it doesn't say police anywhere, just Criminal Task Force in small letters. His badge looked off too, not like the ones you see on television. He asks for my license and registration, but his tone is too sharp, like he's trying to rush me. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but I know enough to ask, "Hey, what's the reason for the stop?" He brushes me off, saying, "I'll get to that. Just give me your ID." That's when the hairs on my neck stood up. I looked at him closer. His vest was loose, no radio, no name tag. I said, "Can I have your badge number?" He got this annoyed look and said he didn't have to give me that. Red flag. I kept my voice steady and told him, "Look, I wasn't speeding and my truck's fine. If this isn't legit, I'm not handing over anything." He leaned in closer, and I got this overwhelming feeling, like I was being sized up, like prey. Out here, with no one around, it hit me how vulnerable I was. Just me, this guy, and the empty road stretching into the dark. It wasn't about guns or blood. It was that creeping dread of being watched, of not knowing who this person really was or what they wanted. I gripped the wheel tighter, trying to figure out my next move, because something told me this wasn't going to end with a ticket. So there I was, pulled over on the side of Route 89 in Utah, heart racing, as this guy claiming to be a cop stood at my window. I'm Liam Harper, by the way, and this whole thing went down at like 1 a.m., middle of nowhere, just me and the desert. The guys flashing red and white lights, no blue, were screaming in my rear view, and his uniform looked off, like some knockoff tactical vest with Criminal Task Force on it, not police. He kept demanding my license, but I wasn't buying it. I asked for his badge number, and he dodged, saying he didn't have to give it. That's when I knew something was wrong. I told him straight up, "I don't think you're a real cop." His face twitched, and he got louder, telling me to get out of the car. My gut was screaming to get out of there. I said, "I'm not comfortable until you get a supervisor here." He banged on my window, trying the handle, and that's when I lost it. I rolled the window up, started the engine, and floored it. My hands were shaking, but I kept it at the speed limit, praying I was right about this guy. In my mirror, I saw his lights chasing me, getting closer, and that feeling of being hunted hit hard. It wasn't just fear.it, it was this suffocating sense of being alone. No cars, no houses, just me and this guy, who could be anyone. I fumbled for my phone and dialed 911, telling the operator I was being chased by someone I thought was a fake cop. I described his weird vest, the missing blue lights, how he wouldn't give a badge number. She asked where I was, and I gave her my best guess. Somewhere on Route 89, heading toward Kanab. She stayed calm, told me to drive to the Kane County Sheriff's Office, about 15 minutes away, and said an officer would meet me there. The whole time, this guy's still tailing me, his lights flashing like some predator stalking prey. I felt so small, like the desert could swallow me whole and no one would know. About halfway to Kanab, we hit an intersection, and suddenly, his lights went dark. He turned right and vanished into the night. My heart was still pounding, but relief washed over me. He was gone. I kept driving, checking my mirror every second, half expecting him to pop up again. When I pulled into the sheriff's office, a deputy was waiting in the parking lot, like he knew it was me. I spilled everything. The guy's face, his car, the way he acted. The deputy took notes, said they'd look into it, and asked for my contact info in case they needed me to ID someone later. I drove away, shaken but grateful I trusted my instincts. That night wasn't about blood or jump scares.it. It was the terror of being out there, alone, with someone playing a role they shouldn't. The way his eyes locked on me, the way his car chased me through the dark. It felt like I was prey, powerless in that moment. I still think about it when I drive late at night. That creeping dread of being followed, of not knowing who's behind you. It's the kind of fear that lingers, quiet but heavy, like a shadow you can't outrun.